Now that the United States is in a de facto state of war with Iran, obviously no war declaration was made, but de facto is we are at war. Here we are. We're right in the thick of it. In this video, you need to watch and take notes because it's so important, because we are flat out looking at attacks hitting us, the United States, even on our soil. And of course, we're Goshen Prepping. I want you to be prepared and ready for this. All right, I put out a video about nuclear attacks and what we can do to prepare for that. It's a good video. Lots of advice. A lot of people took that advice, which is great. But at the same time the video went out, it was interesting. There was a ceasefire declared. I didn't buy it for a second, and I knew it was going to be a matter of time before the ceasefire was broken by one side or the other. And the thing is with that, instead of actually listening to the video, a lot of people are like, oh, ceasefire, see, there's nothing to worry about. We can go back to sleep. Everything's fine. And everything's not fine, not even close to it. The Middle East is about to explode and take the rest of the world with it, conceivably. But, I mean, it comes down to this. Iran can never be trusted, period. And they're getting humiliated, slapped in their face, because as they send numerous missiles, not just toward Israel, but toward our forces, they're getting shot down. Our interceptors are amazing at shooting down their missiles. And Iran, you know, here's the thing. They will do what they need to be able to counteract this. And they'll go back to what they always do best, terrorism. Because terrorism, you know, they relied more on the high-tech stuff that they got as far as missiles go. When that fails, you know what, they always fall back to what they always do. And that's what we have to watch out for. But now we look at the news. U.S. Navy warships are firing top ballistic missile interceptors at an alarming rate, an admiral says. So just like Iran is using their missiles toward our bases, and the numbers of their shots are going down, so obviously they're using them up, practically speaking, our interceptors are also being used up. The problem is, these interceptors we have are super high tech, and depending on which one we're looking at, will cost anywhere from $9 million to $75 million per missile. Super expensive, super high tech, but since they're high tech, it's not even just a matter of the money. In some of these missiles, we only produce 100 a year. We don't make these at an alarming rate. So the alarming is we are using them up faster than we are producing them. And that's the scary part. Because here's the thing. It's not just the Middle East. It's not just Iran. We have these missiles poised and ready in case of other attacks in other areas, like, for example, with China. And what does China have to do with this? Everything. An alarm has been sounded over mysterious Chinese flights into Iran, and we know this isn't good. And maybe you've heard about this because these Chinese cargo planes are these massive 747 planes that can carry so much stuff, including and especially military armament. And on the record, they're going to Luxembourg. But when they get over Iran, their transponders are shut off. And suddenly now, guess what? They disappear off radar. So what are they taking into Iran? Nobody knows, obviously. It's covert. And who knows? Maybe even nuclear too. I don't want to speculate in such things, but it is obviously a possibility, and that's why even more so we need to be prepared. That's why I made that nuclear video as well. But here's the thing. When we talk about strikes, it's not just simply strikes in the Middle East and Iran. We're going to have strikes here in the U.S., and that's so vital you understand that, because it is coming. And the thing is, when we look at these strikes, you have to understand that, well, obviously not just in the U.S., but it could affect us in the U.S. by other things happening too. Because Iran has approved their strategic attacks to close the Strait of Hormuz. We knew this was coming, which the Strait of Hormuz, if you didn't know, is a vital oil and gas route for commerce into the world and the United States. And we knew this was coming, and our Navy's ready for this. But I want you to understand that it's not simply just stopping them. The Iranians are good at setting mines in the water, which is a long and cumbersome task to remove these mines. It's not so easy. And we are certainly looking at disruptions in the flow of gas and oil through that strait. What does that mean for us? At the very least, everything you get from this video, understand that our gas prices are going to start going up. And I mean way up because of this. But it's not just that. It's not just here in the United States too, but we're looking at, the United States has 40,000 troops in the Middle East. And they are all potential targets from Iran. And again, not necessarily missiles. I'll show you in a second. There's a lot more to it than that. Because there's two things you need to hear and be ready for this. Is first, Iran has an elite force called the Quds. We're looking at about 20,000 of these, and they basically are the special forces for Iran. Their job is espionage, covert tactics, recruiting other people for the side of Iran. And haven't we seen that over the past couple of years? All the different splinter factions in the Middle East through attacks are all part of Iran. We knew that. It's the Quds, that's their job, is to recruit these people. It's all about covert missions. Covert missions, you know what? Obviously in the Middle East, but in the United States too. Please understand this. These Quds, these special forces, think of it as like Iranian, Navy SEALs, which they're not in the same league as Navy SEALs, not by any means, but still, their whole plan is terrorism and attacks and recruitment. It's been documented that they are here in the United States. And obviously, the recruitment part is scary too. Have you been watching some of these protests recently, like the last week? Suddenly they shifted from all the other rhetoric that they spew out to now, we side with Iran. Have you seen that? It's insane. I mean, you can go ahead and talk about all these different political arguments in the United States, but now you're siding with Iran. And I even get those comments on this channel sometimes that I side with Iran. Go ahead and be a moron, because their whole regime is all about, that is fascism, by the way, at its finest. Not to mention human and civil rights, the list goes on and on. But here's the biggest problem. When we look at Iranians and when we look at these Quds, we know that there are illegal immigrants from Iran here in the United States. Are they Quds? Because look what it says, Iranian groups that could strike back at America. I'm going to say in America, because these Quds in recent years have plotted to bomb Israeli and Saudi embassies in Washington, and they have been involved also in assassination plots against some of our politicians, not to mention ambassadors to the United States. But listen to this, this is so important. We know of 729 Iranian nationals reportedly allowed into the United States between 21 and 24 under the Biden administration's relaxed border rules. They are here. 729 Iranian nationals. They are probably Quds. They're here to recruit and to act as sleeper cells. I mean, that's what we know of. We know that out of millions of nationals in the United States, there's going to be more than 729 from Iran. And Iran even says this. Look, they threatened Trump with sleeper cell revenge on terrorist attacks inside the United States days before these nuclear strikes. So 729 nationals, how about 729 terrorists? And like I said, these are the ones we only know about. Because, and I'm not kidding you, we know of millions of nationals coming to the United States during the Biden administration. Millions. This is well documented. And when we talk about as far as the nationals coming across, if we know of 729, how many got across that we didn't know about? We're looking at thousands from Iran, possibly these Quds. And of course, we know a lot of them are coming from China as well. There's something huge brewing in this. Obviously, I think we all know that. We can feel it in the air. So, not to be fearful or fear-mongering, we just need to prepare and be hyper-vigilant. We need to have and go through situational awareness everywhere you go. And for a while, honestly, I would consider staying away from some large gatherings of people, because that's what terrorists do. They like to strike these large gatherings because they can get the most casualties, pick the most fun thing in the United States we can do, and they like to attack that because it strikes more fear into the people, and they think, oh, maybe I can't actually celebrate. And what celebration is coming up that we really should be vigilant on? Then Independence Day. I mean, think about this. What is the best way to stoke fear and try to take down the core fabric of the United States of America? But that's an attack to scare the people on our day called Independence Day. It's what terrorists do. They strike through terror. Their whole thing is to undermine the culture of their target, in this case, the United States. And there's no better target than the celebration of America itself. So, back to my nuclear video. Are we going to have a nuclear coming across? It's difficult to say. It's not even just a matter of a nuclear detonation, but dirty nukes. All these things are a very real possibility, or, depending on how you look at it, a probability. So if you haven't watched this video, and really take this video that I'm going to show you next, link up, it's not simply just about watching it and saying, oh, cool, you really need to look at this. And my whole nuclear series, which is linked after that as well. Take some time today or the next day and go through this. It's really important because it literally may save the life of you and your family, even your neighbors, because it is all a very real possibility. We don't know what were those planes coming from China into Iran, but Iran does say, without any doubt whatsoever, that they plan on attacking the United States on our soil, and we just need to be prepared. That's what we do. We're Goshen Prepping. You're preppers. We always want to keep an eye on it, help each other out, and prepare. Thanks for watching, everybody, and go ahead and go through my nuclear series.